Hey guys, what's going on? It's Birdie Boogie. Now this is a video I've seen a few different channels do. I've seen Cultaholic do it. I've seen Brandon Does Everything do it. And what we're gonna do here today is we're gonna look at all these different title belts and we're gonna rank them. It's pretty simple. The grading system isn't that complex. We have your standard A at the top, F at the bottom. And we're gonna go through each belt and discuss whether it's a good belt, whether it's a bad belt, whether it's okay. I think some of my answers may surprise you, because before we go into how I feel about every belt, let me just say this. I'm very much so about uniqueness when it comes to belts. I like every single belt to look very, I guess, what's the word? Individualistic. I think each belt should look very different from each other. Another thing to note is that I love white straps. When it comes to belts, I love white straps. So I figure we'll get right into it. And the first belt we have here is we got Big Gold. Now Big Gold, you know, when you think Big Gold, you think Ric Flair. You know, some people might think Batista. You know, some people might think Triple H during his reign of terror. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I see Big Gold, I think of Batista, and when I see Big Gold, I see what a wrestling belt should look like. I mean, it looks prestigious, it looks expensive. This is the way a wrestling belt should look, so I feel like it automatically needs to go up to the very top. You know, it's big, it's heavy, it looks important, which I think is huge when it comes to wrestling belts. They need to look important. And for that, we go into our tag team belts. And this one, you know, immediately what I said is going to get thrown out the window, because I said I loved white straps, but the tag team belt, it's very unique. It's funny, it should cross off my list for everything I like in a belt, but it doesn't. I mean, it's white, it's unique. I don't know, it's just never really done it for me. I'm gonna give it a D. It's just, I don't know, it's a weird design. I'm not really sure what's going on with it, you know? What is this in the middle? It's odd. From there, we move on to the Universal Championship. I remember when the Universal Championship first came out, everyone hated the Universal Championship. They thought it looked terrible. I don't know if I ever thought it looked terrible, but I think once again, it looks like a toy. So yeah, we're just gonna put that also in the D category. It's just, you know, it is what it is. It's even the new blue only Universal Championship, I feel the same way. You know, it looks like a toy. I don't know. From there, we move on to the WWE Championship. Now, I actually really like the WWE Championship. It's, you know, it's clean. You know what it is by looking at it. It's clear that that is the top belt in the company. But my whole thing is that it doesn't have that prestige factor, because at the end of the day, you're just walking around with the WWE logo at your waist. So I like it, don't love it. It gets a B. From there, we move on to the WWE title beforehand. So we have the scratch letters. This one, you know, there's not much of a difference between the championship now and the championship then. Obviously, it's the change of the, you know, the logos. So I do think it goes down a little bit. It just doesn't look as clean as the WWE Championship does. So yeah, we're gonna put that one in the C category. Next, we have John Cena famously made his spinner title. And, you know, this once again goes right into belts looking like toys. The Universal Championship struggles with that. And, you know, I think it would be ridiculous of me to, you know, not give that one the same grade as the Universal title, because in my mind, they both look like toys. So they're both ending up there. From there, we go on to an older WWE Championship belt. You know, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I don't really know what to say about it. It's nice. I don't like the WWE logo up top. I will say that. I'm not a fan of that one. Yeah, just doesn't do it for me. I will say a lot of the older belts I'm not a fan of for the most part. I really like when it comes to belts of the newer style, besides Big Gold, obviously, which is the only A on our list right now. So from there, we go into Daniel Bryan's Eco title. Now, like I said, I like my belts being unique. I honestly think Naomi had one of the greatest belts of all time with her Glow belt. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, that belt looked like a toy, but like, it did and it didn't, because at the end of the day, it was strictly Naomi. I mean, when you see that belt, you only think of Naomi. Just like when I see Big Gold, I only think of Ric Flair. But going into Daniel Bryan's title, it's unique, but like, you only think of Daniel Bryan when you see it, but it just doesn't have that it factor, you know what I mean? And I really think it's the strap. I really think the strap hurts it, but I don't know what you could do to possibly improve the strap there. So I'm gonna put that one on the B title. Next, we kind of, you know, we're going back, way back now. We're going back to one of the original WWE championships before Winged Eagle. Or is this Winged Eagle? I could never, which one is Winged Eagle? This one or this one? I could never understand which one was the Winged Eagle. One of those two is Winged Eagle. It's either this one or this one. I'm not sure which. I'm sure I'm going to get 80,000 comments letting me know. But I think they're both, they just look okay. I don't know. They look, my whole thing is that they look old. You'll hear me say this a little bit when we get to the UK championships. They just look old and just not very special. Like I guess old wouldn't be the right word, because looking old isn't necessarily a bad thing. They look dated. They look especially dated. Stone Cold's, on the other hand, you know, we have the Smoking Skull belt. I think it's perfect. It's uniquely Stone Cold. You know, actually, we're gonna move that one to the A. Smoking Skull, we're bumping that one up to the A with the big gold. I mean, that's a badass belt. Like, if I see a man, you know, walking into the ring wearing that belt, I know not to fuck with him. And you know, that's the message Stone Cold was trying to convey. I think it's perfectly conveyed with that belt. It's badass. I want more, you know, unique wrestler designed belts. I think they're really cool, and it's more money for you, WWE. And then we're actually going to go right into the Intercontinental title. Now, I'm going to be honest. I think this truly is one of the greatest belts ever designed. It's white. It's got a very nice, clean design. I really like the color of the blue in the middle. You know, Cody Rhodes obviously brought this one back, and you know, I think that's also going to go into the A category. Now we move into an older Intercontinental. I don't like how dark the blue is. I don't like the black. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'm going to put it in B. I'm going to put it in B. Nah, I don't know. We'll put it in C. I changed my mind. I do like this one though. Whoops, not in the United States. I do like this one though. So yeah, that's how we'll rank the Intercontinental titles. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. And this is kind of tough, having to go through and really judge each one. Now, this is a belt, I don't think a lot of people expect this, but I actually hate this belt. It just looks super cheap to me. I'm actually going to put it in the F category, the United States Championship. I get it. It's the United States Championship, but I feel like you convey that in a better way than just the United States flag on the title. I think you can be a little bit more unique with it than what that is. I think the new Intercontinental design, if a new United States design is coming with it, I'd be interested to see. I almost feel like the United States aspect should be a little bit more subtle with it. I mean, you know, we don't see the globe taking up the entire map on the, you know, the entire belt on the Intercontinental, and I think you can do the same thing with the United States title. Next, we move into the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship. I'm going to judge them together because I really, you know, there's not much of a difference between the two besides the color representing the show that they're on. And I have always been a sucker for the SmackDown Women's Championship, but I think the Raw Women's Championship goes right by it. I mean, the color just jumps out at you with that white strap, and I like how it's the same size. You know, I like how it looks big on the women. It makes that look important. I don't know. I'm a fan. I really think that's a gorgeous belt, and it's going to make me sad the day they change it. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous belt. I think we'll eventually get a change when we get a brand unification again, whenever that may happen. I think that's when you'll see them get rid of these titles. The 24/7 Championship. This is by far, a lot of the people, they consider this, you know, a terrible, terrible belt. I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't think it's in the C or B range. I mean, it's not great, but it's not F territory. I still think it's better than the United States Championship. I almost wish, like, if you're gonna go for this clock design, instead of saying champion, I wish you would almost put a clock around it and then something with champion in the middle. I don't know. I would just like to see this little circle on the side say you have the numbers of the clock. I don't know. I don't know how you would do that, but I think that'd look really cool instead of just have this 24/7. It does get some bonus points for being green, which makes it pretty unique. The Cruiserweight Championship. Now, the problem I've always had with the Cruiserweight Championship, I don't know if it's because it's purple or what, but it's always just looked really plasticky. I think the new Cruiserweight Championship, it's actually not on this list, unfortunately, but I think the new Cruiserweight Championship is amazing looking. It's black with those shades of pink. So once again, it's going to go in the D category because it's not great, but it gets some bonus points for being a unique color. I don't know. I like the unique colors. Now, I'm gonna warn you. I don't think there's been many pretty tag team belts. First, we have the Raw and SmackDown nickel belts. They're very unique. I will give them that. I think it's very unique, but it's just so hard to read what's even on them. Like, let's say, you know, I'm coming into wrestling. I don't know what any of these belts are. I would have no idea what any of these belts mean. The copper, the penny belt gets a D just so I can at least read that it's tag team champions. I don't know. I think they could have done a lot better. There's no side plates that I'm aware of. It's just this circle with these two Roman gladiators on it. And there's this, that's the best we got, WWE. That's the best we got. We had to redesign the gorgeous Intercontinental Championship. We're just going to leave these two tag belts chilling. You want to look at some pretty tag belts, we'll go into NXTs. They have gorgeous belts, period, though. Tag team champion belts, we're getting to some of the older ones. I'm not sure some of the timelines on these, but you know, we're just gonna quickly go through these. I think this gets a D. I really like how this one makes a big emphasis that they are the world tag team champions. I mean, these truly are the best tag team in the world, and I really like that. And I don't know, I like the blue and the red. It really pops out. You know, I think this tag team championship, it's okay. It's just very messy. That one's probably gonna go in the D as well. I don't know. There's not been many good tag team belts, unfortunately, unless we're looking at NXT. Get it together. Now, this belt gets a lot of controversy. You know, I've heard it called the tramp stamp belt. It's been called a lot of things. It's gone now. You actually can't even buy like the official replica on the WWE shop anymore. It's like the cheap replica, which is a shame because I'd really like to own the actual replica of the Divas Championship. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by my answer with the Divas Championship. But I'm actually going to put it in the A category. Say what you will about the Divas division. Say what you will about the fact that they were branded as Divas and the matches they got and the opportunities they got. Say what you will about that. But that belt is unlike any other belt in the company. That belt truly stands on its own, and I think it deserves some credit for that. You know, they were pushing the Divas brand. I think that pushes the Divas brand really well. And I mean, I don't want to think about people's reigns when looking at this belt, but you know, it's had great reigns around it. And honestly, I don't think the Divas belt gets enough credit than it deserves. And I know we're trying to censor the word diva. You know, whether or not you agree with that, I think that belt is just so unique and so different. I also like how it comes up off the belt. I mean, you can see the tip of the butterfly wings are actually coming up off the leather, which I think is really unique and really cool. It's a unique belt. Honestly, and I'm gonna give the women's championship a B. It's, you know, it's unique. It looks interesting. The only thing I think that's avoiding it from pushing in that A category is this weird like design, which almost looks like a hairball on the belt. I'm not sure what that is. But yeah, actually, no, we're gonna move it to a C just for that alone. Now that I'm really looking, I'm like, that's fucking weird. So next we move it to the European Championship. This is a gorgeous belt. That's a gorgeous belt. I like how you have the countries on the side. You know, you have Earth focused on Europe. European champion is very bright and easy to read. Gorgeous belt. Gorgeous, gorgeous belt. You know, it'd be interesting to see if we ever brought back the European Championship. Maybe even for something like NXT UK. I'm not sure. Next, we have the Hardcore Championship. I like unique belts. I like belts that look different than any other. That immediately goes into an A. Goddamn, I want to own a Hardcore title so bad, but they don't sell them anymore. I mean, that belt, it looks like it's getting thrown around. I almost wish, you know, each wrestler would have added their own piece to it, which is something I would like to see added at some point. It hasn't happened yet, but I'd love to see it added. I mean, you know, it's just unique. It looks different. And it looks hardcore at the end of the day. I mean, these are men that don't care about prestige of titles. They just own it because they have it, and it's something they can talk shit about. That's what. That's the Hardcore title right there. That thing's been through the mud. That thing's been through the rain, blood, sweat, tears. That belt has seen it all, and it looks it. Love it. Gives it personality. Light Heavyweight Championship. We're gonna give it a D. It's just not very unique. I can't even really tell what the design on the belt is. It's just, I don't know. It's just a belt. You know what I mean? It's a wrestling belt. You know, it doesn't get that F category. It's not that bad, but it's just a wrestling belt. Yeah, just not impressed. Next, we have the new NXT Championship. Or is this the women's? And this is the big problem with the new NXT championships, I think, is that I don't remember which one is the men's and which one is the women's. And for that reason, they're both going to go in the C category. I like how big the X is. I like how you can clearly see it's the NXT championship. I mean, these are people that represent NXT, but at the end of the day, I think there needs to be a little bit of a differential between a men's belt and a women's belt. The UK championship. Now this is a gorgeous belt. This I think will actually go into A, and I think the women's belt will join it because, you know, they are separated with the black and white straps, which I think is a great way to separate men's and women's titles, but goddamn, they look prestigious and they're just pretty to look at. I mean, you can truly hold that belt in your hands and just admire all the details in it. You can't do that for most of the belts here, and that really was what pushes it apart. The original NXT championship. This one's tough because originally I was thinking B, but then I was like, I don't know. I mean, that X is just so big, and it really doesn't say championship anywhere on there. So we're actually gonna move it into the C category. You know, it's interesting. I was really talking about the NXT titles, and now I'm giving most of them C's. But I want it to say championships or somewhere on it. I mean, it just says NXT. Yep, here's a belt that says NXT. You know, it needs more. It needs more. We move into the NXT Women's Championship, and I think that will go into the B category. I really want to move it to A. You know what? Fuck it. We'll move it to A. It's what I like in women's titles. They're separate, but they still look important. They still look equal. I like the shades of pink, bringing it back to that Divas era. I mean, like how hint the pink is for NXT. I don't think there's anything wrong with feminine belts. I think the fact that we are trying so hard to push away from feminine belts is a little bit of a mistake, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't think there's anything wrong with femininity in a wrestling belt. And I think we should encourage it. Both NXT Tag Team Championship belts are going to go into the B range. I mean, they're just perfect. Tag Team Champions, both say it. NXT isn't fucking hitting you in the face with their brand. Great belts. The UK NXT Tag Team Championships. I'm guessing what this is. I don't think I've seen this belt. I'm pretty sure it's the UK. I don't know. I think it's interesting. We have the Globe. I think we're going to move it into the C category for the Globe. I wish you would just focus on the UK if it is the UK, but it does get points for those horses. I think those are pretty badass. And lastly, we have the North American Championship. Gorgeous belt. And I've seen this belt. It is big. Like, it is big. It looks important. It really reminds me of an old school NWA title. It's very clearly North America. It's showing North America. Great belt. Gets a B. Not perfect, but it gets a B. So there are my rankings. What do you think? We only got 3 belts that really failed. I know the Divas title up top in an A category is going to surprise a lot of people. I actually didn't watch Brandon or Cultaholic's video because I didn't want them influencing me in any way. So what would you change around? How many people would give the Divas title an F? I'm expecting it. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like, give me a comment, hit the subscribe. I'm Birdie Boogie, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.